Hello and welcome back to another episode of Bestseller Live. I am your co-host, Cynthia Johnson, here with my lovely co-host, Rhett Power. Hi, Rhett. How are you?
Hey, Cynthia. How you doing today?
I am fantastic because the topic we're covering today is one of my favorites. We
Excellent.
have the incredible author, Lindsey Van Wagner, and her book, Spirit Vigilante, Sharing My Truth to Help You Live Yours, which can't wait to dive into this one. Lindsey is an author, speaker, teacher, and lifestyle guide devoted to helping people live with deeper intention and unlock their creative power. In her debut book, Spirit Vigilante, Lindsey blends memoir and transformational guide work to offer a vulnerable, empowering look at what it means to walk in your own path. Welcome, Lindsey. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. I'm excited for this.
Well, Cynthia, I sometimes think that we are some of the luckiest people in the world because we get to read, we get to see books before and after they've come out, and we get to read a lot. And what I love about this is that, Spirit Vigilante, what a powerful title. It's an evocative title. So Lindsey, I want to know, what does that mean to you, and how did the name come to be, but what was the genesis behind the book? I'd love to sort of get the story.
Absolutely. So I wanted a title that captures both light and dark and kind of the juxtaposition of those. So vigilante, I think of as a superhero. And in this context, it's defending our soul, protecting ourselves. I believe we have to be advocates for ourselves in this world and to remember our true nature. And so I use spirit to do that, among other mechanisms. So I liked the Spirit Vigilante. So this reclamation, this justice for the soul, if you will, is where that title came from. And then the book itself outlines my journey through various life transforming incidents, periods. I'm in recovery. I've dealt with other traumatic events we all have. And so it's really just a tale of what I did and what helped me. So it's, as Cynthia said, part memoir, part how to, and really bringing these abstractions, these philosophies into reality and grounding the reader in my story to show how this can apply to your everyday life. And I think everyone can benefit from it. It's very accessible to all levels, whether you're on the fence with your spiritual journey or really deep into it. I see it as a manual that can really help everybody.
Yeah.
And the being in recovery, telling your own story, it can be challenging path to walk. So I'm curious how you integrated your story and how you felt through that process.
Yeah, so I love writing. I've always loved writing, and I had a few series of events where really it felt like all the pillars of my life fell down at once, and I was left with just me without these social identities, without my job, my partner at the time, just a lot of things kind of broke down, and I was left with just me. And I thought the only thing left to do is write and tell my story. And through that, write my story of where I want to go from here. So it was tough. I had to make a decision because I knew I wanted to do something with writing. And I kind of had to make a decision of, do I want to be a behind the scenes ghostwriter or use a fictitious name? I knew I couldn't go halfway. And I said, if I'm going to come out of hiding, I need to come out of hiding and realize the risks from that. And so something told me that I am supposed to represent this mission in a bigger way and really show all parts of myself. And I think it's only fair to the reader to do that. So I really dive deep in my stories, and I think stories are medicine. I think that's how we learn. And I can't justify any reason I went through everything I went through unless I was meant to alchemize it into a way to help others.
You share a bunch of deeply personal truths in this work, right? And you just talked about something told you that you needed to do this, but hearing that message and having the courage to be so open is another thing, right? And so where do you think that courage comes from? Number one, because it is courageous to lay this all out, to lay these stories out that you laid out, and there's truths, there's personal truths. So talk about the courage a little bit, and then I want to know also sort of a two-part question. What do you hope that these stories in this book, what do you hope it unlocks in others?
Great questions. So the courage part, I really had to have a heart-to-heart with myself and my ego and say, am I more worried about impressing people or helping people? And I had to get,
I like that a lot. Yeah.
I had to get really clear on my motives. And my dad actually had a conversation with me right before I published the book, and he knows I'm a sensitive soul. And he said, I mean, you're putting yourself out there. Are you ready for the repercussions of that and people knowing your story? And people are going to say good things, people are going to say bad things. And I said, I'm not so worried about the people that are going to judge me. I'm more care about the people who are relating to it and connecting with it. And I think that's a risk that I'll take. If one person can feel less alone reading my book, then, I just that's, if you're pleasing everybody, you're pleasing nobody kind of thing. And I just had to trust that it's going to find the right people and not worry about the rest. You can't live in the fear of what other people think. I did that for so long, and it's just exhausting. So it was actually quite freeing to share my story.
Yeah. And frustrating too, right? You living in that sort of trying to please others and caring what they think and trying to live up to their expectation. Like it's a no-win. Yeah. It's no-win.
It's no win.
No. Yeah.
It's impossible. What was the second question?
And they really don't care about your story. Anyway. They really don't care. Those people don't really care about you.
We aren't as important as we think we are, is how I like to put it, right?
More impressionable.
So, yeah.
I think the second question that Red had was, what do you hope that the book unlocks in others?
Oh, yes. I love that you use the word unlock, because that's the name of one of my chapters. Is unlocked.
That's where I got it from.
Okay. Yeah, we're on the same page then, literally and figuratively. So I just hope that people can develop this self-awareness and commit to not recreating themselves, but just returning to themselves. I think it's more of a remembrance than a new me, new year, new me type thing. We're just remembering. And I hope that it allows people to live with more freedom and more authenticity and see how that really benefits every area of your life. Because I know how both sides feel. I know the prison and I know the freedom. And I really just want people to feel liberated in their own skin.
I love that you said prison and unlock, and you guys, this is really coming together
nicely.
As someone who likes to plan, right? What is the first step? Because I feel in any journey, the first step's the hardest, the most difficult one. So if we're trying to unlock our freedom, what do we do?
So the first step in my book, like kind of where I begin with the reader.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the first phase is called notice. So I believe for changing anything, we kind of need to figure out where we are and get honest with ourselves. I say self-exploration is the antidote to denial. So we need to accept where we are, figure out what the presenting problem is, whatever that looks like, and get real with ourselves and just notice before changing anything. You need to know where you are before you can plan and get where you're going. So if that part is really just about observing, trying to do that from a neutral witness perspective without judging, and just kind of taking an inventory. And then it evolves into invoking some kind of higher entity other than yourself. I don't get religious at all, but you can call it whatever you want, but just knowing that there's something out there that can guide you and allowing that in, right? And then I move through different things, shedding the layers, unlocking, stabilizing, and a few other fun ones. But it's kind of this journey. But I think that the reason there's 8 phases is 8 is like the infinity sign tilted, because we're always kind of looping through all of them. So I really want to, the point is really for it to be a manual that people can come back to at any time and, figure out, where am I? What can I do? Let me read a story or two, and then let me put things. There's very actionable techniques in here.
Just because it's a spiritual, I'm sorry, Rhett, could you just open the book and read one, just any page, and just read one line from it?
Oh.
Just one line.
Rhett or me?
You, please.
Oh, me. Oh, okay. Any page?
Any page. Right. Whatever. Opens.
Okay, I just opened to chapter 7, which is called Evolve. And it says, on every hero's journey, there comes rebirth and transformation. There is an essence about you that can't quite be named. This essence is the true you in all your beautiful you-ness. That is your superpower. The things that make you different or weird are also what make you stand out. Your unique fingerprint. One of a kindness is what changes the world.
One of a kindness. Oh, just thank you for doing that. I'm like, if you can pick up any page.
Sure.
Why not?
Yeah. I'm very proud of it. It's a labor of love, and it's really means the world to me that it's landing with people and getting that feedback. It's just the thing.
Well, it actually, you just wrote my next question. Thank you for that. What is your superpower?
Oh gosh. Ooh. My superpower. Wow. It's a hardball. I think it has something to do with it's still being formed, but something to do with creative recovery and helping people recover creatively and spiritually, because I believe we're all creators, and I just want people to feel seen and acknowledged and know that there's so much more than enough and so capable. And I think a lot of the reasons that we fall into patterns and kind of morph into this place of just existing and surviving rather than living is that we're not creating whatever that looks like to us. So I really like helping people write books and helping them write to heal and different things like that. So I'd say something around creative and spiritual recovery, which I think are one and the same once you get down to it.
I've actually spent a pretty big portion of my career working in behavioral health and with a lot of people in recovery, so alumni communities, and the honesty in those rooms, is great. And I think that I'd love to understand maybe how you view creativity like in the path forward, because it seems, at least from my perspective, when people have hit a certain, what they would call their rock bottom or whatever, they know they can't repeat the path. Mm-hmm. So creativity is like the only option, and everyone else is just doing the same thing over again. So I'd love, whatever.
That's a really good point.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah. So
go ahead.
What is creativity then
I really like how you put that. Like when you hit rock bottom, you then have to create, right? There's nothing like there's destruction and then there's creation. Where else do you go? So I think that it can come up in various ways, but I can only speak from my experience with addiction and alcoholism that I have a very sensitive soul. I've always been very artistic. I didn't know what to do with it. And the fact that I wasn't creating, I wouldn't have been able to articulate it this way at the time. But the fact that I wasn't creating, I think was killing me. And I didn't know, I knew there was something more and I couldn't face that. So I just kept drinking and drugging to just try to quiet that voice. And I think that a lot of creatives are that way, you know? And so what creativity for me is, you know, we all have it. When people say I'm not creative, I'm like, that's impossible. We're all products of a creator. Hence, we are creators. So whether it's what you choose, what car you drive, what tie you wear in the morning, like you are always creating something. And so bringing that back to addiction and alcoholism is like, now you can create your story. You get to literally write your story. And I just love introducing that concept.
Yeah, that makes so much sense to me. And I do like the way you put that, Cynthia. And you have to create is it that you have to create your way out of, not build your way out of, but you're creating a new narrative, a new framing around who you are. And I think that's really fascinating. What does it mean? Like, I was having a conversation this morning with somebody that I coach, and like the overwhelm was just so much like consuming in them. How do we live with intention in this world that is so chaotic and so distracting? Like, I think that's something that a lot of people really struggle with, right? You know, you said creating that you weren't creating was killing you. Like, I think this chaoticness and this being so distracted is killing us too. How do you live with intention? I'd love to know.
Yeah,
it might be a little selfishness in this, asking this question and trying to.
Oh, that's fine.
Figure it out, right? Figure it out.
Yeah, and for me, the words intention and purpose and mission and that kind of thing can be a little overwhelming. So I take it down very basic to this moment. What is my purpose? This moment, what is my intention? It doesn't have to be this grand. I think I was waiting for like lightning to strike me and say, now you are meant to do this and travel to this country and help these people. And I realized it's just those moment to moment, everyday life things, you know, like my purpose right now is to be talking to you all and contributing to the conversation. And we can't even set an intention if we aren't present and anchored. So if we spend too much time worried about the intention or the mission or the purpose, it's kind of, you know, counterproductive. So I'm coming back to, really, I ask myself, how can I contribute to this situation? How can I give? Because that's where the real joy comes from. So with intentionality, that's what I would say. What and how can I serve or give in this moment? Because that will answer the question.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because like purpose, I think purpose, right, really screws people up sometimes.
Yes.
Right. This whole idea that you got to have this purpose that drives everything you're doing and this greater good and it makes us forget to live in the now and be I love the way you put that. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually looked up the root word of purpose once because I was looking for mine, you know, I was like, maybe it's in the dictionary or something.
That's so good.
But
that's funny.
And actually it means, you know, to propose, I guess. So that really made me get extra confused at the time. But to your point now, I try to like take it down just to the moment. but that's also not easy. And I know you're also working in wellness. And I mean, how much does that contribute to your ability to stay in the present? Because I feel like when I'm in my wellness routine, it helps.
Yeah. So how does working in wellness or?
Yeah, just like being aware of wellness in general tends to stabilize people. At least that's what I've seen. I'm just not sure how.
Yeah, definitely. And again, one of the chapters is stabilize. And that's kind of building these routines and habits that we don't understand how they make any difference in the moment. But what we're doing is by ritualizing things and creating these habits, those can prove as little like anchors in your day to then let you fly more freely in the other areas of your life. So it's like, I know I have this check-in, I know I have this safe space, and it looks different for everybody. And I give an array of different options for people. My number one line of defense is always reading, and I always have a journal with me, and I know I can write whether I'm happy, sad, mad, and that's my notice, right? I talked about the first phase of notice. That's how I develop self-awareness, and I say, okay, now I know what I'm looking at. It's out of my head. I can see it in black and white and make a choice of what to do.
Yeah. So I got to ask, I hate that we only got a few short minutes left. If there was one core message in the book and that you want people to get so that they get the book and learn more about it, but what's one core message or mantra? What would it be from the book? And what do you think people are going to learn when they pick up the book and read it?
Well, my kind of tagline is trust your truth, but I'll expand on that a bit by saying I want people to understand, and I talked about it a little bit in the essence and in the evolve chapter. I want people to understand that they really matter and are significant and so much more than enough, and can uniquely leave their imprint on this world. And I say more than enough because, and I talk about this in my book, we kind of, I see all these things now. You are enough, I am enough. And I'm like, why is enough the standard? Like, I don't want to be enough. That's a recipe. Like, do you have enough sugar in the cake? Like, you are so much more than enough. And life can be so, so beautiful when you look at it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Just feel this like cup like overflowing kind of vibe. So.
Exactly. And the last chapter is called Ascend. And that's when we kind of realize, oh, it's not about me all along. It's what can I give? But we have to be in a place to give. Like you said, where our cup's overflowing. And guess what? We have to fill that cup before we can give. And that's where the wellness comes in the journey. But it's a spoiler alert. It's about what you're giving to this world. And that's where you find joy. The universe, whatever your higher powers, wants us to be happy. I don't think we're meant to suffer. And so when we're doing what we love, that's when we're in true alignment. And so it's only benefits you to help others and contribute and create. Trust your truth.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for being here, Lindsey. Really wonderful. You've uplifted my day, so appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much. This was so fun. Nice conversation.
Well, go ahead, Cindy.
Well, please, let's take us away, Rhett.
Well, no, I wanted to find out where people can get the book. I know you probably speak and do trainings and things. Where can people find you? Where can people find the book?
Absolutely. So the book is called Spirit Vigilante. I have a website called thespiritvigilante.com. It's also on Barnes & Noble and Amazon, several other local bookstores, various areas. And I'm active on Instagram. So anyone, I read all of my emails, all of my messages, and my handle's at Spirit Vigilante. So if you just want to have a conversation, I love connecting with readers.
Well, maybe when Cynthia and I are, we were in just DC a couple months ago, and maybe we had to do another show live from DC when we're all back in town.
That would be awesome.
Love to catch up and chat again.
I know. I want to hear about your book.
Oh, that's coming out in October about self-talk. So it's kind of right in line with what you're doing. And but if you have another book, let us know. We'll get you back on the show. And cool. It's been a real pleasure to have you. And this is Bestseller Live. My co-host Cynthia Johnson and I will be back next week. And until then, have a great week and read a good book. This one particularly.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.